Ross was navigating the city streets, picking up and dropping off passengers. He chatted with his customers, illustrating his new law-abiding life. Later in the evening, he was parked at a rideshare stop. The city bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. His car was quiet, save for the gentle hum of the engine. His phone pinged the new ride request. Ross tapped the screen. He saw the pickup location. "All right, let's see who needs a ride," he said to himself. He pulled out of the stop and he headed towards the pickup address. As he approached, he spotted a man standing on the curb, holding a duffel bag. Ross didn't immediately recognize him. "Hey there, you need a ride?" Ross asked, rolling down the window. "Yeah, thanks. I'm heading to the halfway house on 5th Street," the man replied, relief evident in his voice. Ross nodded and unlocked the car doors. The man got in and Ross started driving, glancing at his passenger in the rearview mirror. There was something vaguely familiar about him, but Ross couldn't place it. "So, where to on 5th Street?" Ross inquired. "The halfway house on the corner of 5th and Maple," the man answered. Ross continued driving his curiosity pig. He stole occasional glances at the man who seemed to be lost in thought. "Got it. Just a few more blocks," Ross said. The man shifted in his seat, trying to make conversation. "You know, it's been a long time. I've been out here for a bit now, just trying to get back on my feet." "Yeah, that's rough. That's tough. Glad to see you making an effort," Ross responded, casual but guarded. The man chuckled softly, looking out the window at the passing cityscape. "Yeah, it's a start. I got some catching up to do." The car passed a few landmarks that the man looked at. Ross's curiosity grew. "You seem pretty familiar with the area. Been around here before?" Ross asked. "A little. This town has a way of sticking with you," the man replied, smirking slightly. Ross's eyebrow furrowed as he tried to connect the dots. "You got any plans for after you get settled?" Just take it one day at a time, hoping to find a job, maybe reconnect with a few old friends," the man said, avoiding eye contact. As they approached the halfway house, Ross's recognition finally clicked in, his expression shift from neutral to one of recognition and unease. "Blake?" Ross asked slowly. Blake met Ross's eyes in the rearview mirror, a flicker of surprise and then tension crossing his face. "Yeah, it's me. Didn't expect to run into you like this, huh?" Ross pulled up to the halfway house and stopped the car. The tension in the vehicle was palpable. "I didn't know it was you when I accepted a ride. This is unexpected," Ross said, trying to stay calm. Blake shifted, subtly intense, leaning forward. "You know, Ross, I had a lot of time to think about things, like that last job we did together." Ross's eye flickered with concern. He tried to keep his voice steady. "Blake, that was a long time ago, Blake. Things have changed." "Changed? Really? Because it seems like you're doing just fine." "Well, I was stuck in here. You were out here living it up. I lost years, Ross. Years that I'll never get back. And I can't help but wonder if it was all your call that got me the extra time," Blake said, his voice rising. Ross gripped the steering wheel tighter, his face showing a mix of guilt and frustration. "You think I wanted any of that? I did what I had to do to get out. I didn't sell you out. I was trying to save myself, same as you." Blake's face contorted with anger and hurt. "Don't give me that. I know what it's like. You were always the better talker. How do I know you didn't put yourself in a better position while I took the fall? Blake is not like that. I made mistakes, and I've had to live with them, but I'm trying to do right now. You think it's easy for me to see you like this? I didn't want any of this," Ross said, pleading. The tension between them was electric. Blake looked out the window, struggling with his emotions. "I just wanted a fresh start. I thought maybe I could count on the family for that," he said softly. Ross exhaled deeply, softly. "Look, I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't know how bad things would get, but I'm trying to make things work right now. I'm trying to make things right." Blake took a deep breath and nodded reluctantly. "All right, maybe we both need to take one step at a time." Ross reached into his pocket. He pulled out a piece of paper, scribbling down a phone number. "Here, this is my number. If you need anything or if you want to talk more, just call me." Blake took the paper, his expression a mix of weariness and hope. "I will, thanks, Ross." Blake stepped out of the car. He walked towards the halfway house. His shoulders slumped, but his stride determined. Ross watched him go, his mind heavy with the weight of their past. He took a deep breath and started the car, driving away into the evening. Ross and Alma sat at the kitchen table, the room illuminated by a warm ambient light. Alma was busy chopping vegetables, her movements officiate and focus. Ross, on the other hand, was lost in thought, his expression troubled. "Alma, there's something I need to tell you," Ross said softly. Alma looked up from her task, her concern evident. She set the knife down and she turned towards Ross. "What's wrong?" "I had a rideshare pickup today, and it turned out to be Blake." Alma's eye widened in surprise. She took a step back from the counter, her hands on her hips. "Blake? I didn't expect that. How did that go?" "He's just gotten out of prison." He looked worn, but he said he's trying to get his life together. "I want to help him." Alma walked over and sat next to Ross, her expression serious. "Are you sure? Do you think that would be a good idea? You know how things ended between you two before he went in?" Ross took Alma's hand, squeezing it gently. "I know, but it's still family. He mentioned wanting to clear the air, maybe make amends." Alma searched Ross's face for reassurance. "I get that he's family, but you worked so hard to build a life for us and for Tyler. I don't want this to upset everything we worked for." Ross nodded, acknowledging her concerns. "I've considered that. But if there's even a slight chance he's really trying to turn things around, I feel like I owe it to him to at least give him a shot. I want to help him get back on his feet if I can." Alma's worry was palpable. She bit her lip, clearly torn. "Ross, I don't think you owe him anything. You served your time. He served his. I have a bad taste in my mouth about this. I don't trust him. One thing I've learned in my lifetime is that people don't change overnight, and old issues might resurface." Ross leaned in and he kissed her on the forehead tenderly, offering a reassuring smile. "Honey, trust me. Everything's gonna be okay. I promise. No need to worry." Alma leaned into him and her head rested on his shoulder. She sighed deeply, her concern lingering. "All right, but keep your guard up. We can't afford to let our guard down now." "I will. Thanks for understanding, Am," Ross said softly. Alma pulled back slightly, looking into Ross's eye with a mix of support and apprehension. "Just remember, we're your family now. Whatever happens, we face it together." Ross smiled, feeling reassured by her words. Always. They shared a tender moment before Alma stood up, returning to her cooking. Ross watched her with gratitude, appreciating her support. As Alma reassured her task, Ross took a deep breath, mentally preparing for the meeting with Blake. The kitchen was filled with the soft sounds of cooking as Ross contemplated the challenges ahead. Alma had the uncanny ability to sense when something was off. It was like she could feel negative energy before it even touched her. The other day, Ross mentioned running into Blake Bailey, his cousin, the one he got into trouble with years ago. They both did time, but Blake served more years than Ross did. Ross thought he moved on, that those old connections were just a thing of the past, but when he told her about Blake, she just knew. She could feel that something wasn't right. It was like she could sense the shadows from Ross's past creeping into their present, even when he tried to shield her from it. Alma's intuitions has always been a guiding light, but sometimes Ross wished it didn't have to shine on these old ghosts. Ross would just wish it didn't have to shine on these old ghosts.